Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. Well, it's been a while since I've done some videos. It's been a bit crazy over in Australia. The wet weather, it's been unbelievable. We had rain for about 3 months, 2 floods. It's just unbelievable. It's been too wet to run my car, test running and all that type of thing. Yes, I managed to test run with my new pipe. Yeah, come to a stage, right, all finished that side of things of testing. It's all engine work from now on and engine building. Okay, this topic really is basically doing billet heads for your 71cc engine. Okay, I do all my own work, my own machining, I make pipes. I could do anything on an engine completely. Okay, this topic is going to explain how to do a two-piece head and how I did it. Okay, basically most of the work's done on a lathe. I made a jig to hold the cylinder head, and I machined the top of the head down to the specs where I want to. Okay, so there's a complete one. So using stainless steel bolts. Now your bolt length's got to be about, it's 90 mils. Really it's about 86, right? Depends how deep you re-drill and tap to put 6mm bolts in your crankcase. Okay, when you do this, especially your crankcase, if you're gonna go to the next size, make sure your casing is squared on the drill press, otherwise 90 degrees for your drill to come down. Don't do it on an angle, or else you're going to run into problems. Okay, that's one thing you've got to be so careful. Okay, the first cylinder head, it took me a while to do. Okay, it's pretty well being careful how much I've got to machine off, and plus doing the billet head itself. Okay, with let's see, we'll take this cylinder head off. Okay, basically where your piston actually sits in your cylinder, it's actually about 2 mils from the top, below the cylinder line. Right, top dead center, it sits down 2 mils. Okay, already set up how much to machine off. So obviously you're taking 2 mil plus, because actually raising the cylinder, giving more compression, and change the port mapping. Okay, right. So things are just seeing what you see on videos you see on YouTube, and it can give you a deception what things are not really are. Anyway, so this is a close-up. I have got videos doing in a lathe and all that type of thing. So you're taking about 3 fins off the top. Okay, then just from there, basically I made my own jug base gaskets. Obviously they're thicker head gaskets. Copper's not, it's quite expensive, so you got to be very careful with that stuff. I do make my own cylinder gaskets. I actually made 2 jigs. I do all in a lathe, so I do the outside diameter. Then I've got another jig with a flange set up so I can put a boring bar through the middle and get the size I want, which is 50mm. And basically the outside is about 67. Okay, very tricky stuff, very tricky. Okay, this is the standard head. These are off the bicycle motors on eBay and whatever, AliExpress and that. This is the way they look like. Between hole to hole, it's actually 45 mils. They're not made for a 71cc, but because it's an 8mm hole on either side, and we put a 6mm bolt. Right, so what I'm saying is, on a Rovan, it's like a PCD, as you say, from hole to hole, that hole to there and back is actually 49 mils. Right, so if we go back to what the billet head itself, like it's 45 from hole to hole, to centre to centre. Okay, I'll bring this, show you the one that's in the machine now. Okay, so I've actually stepped down to roughly 4 mils in. Okay, this way the cylinder on the top itself, on the outside, is the same diameter and inside diameter of the billet head. Okay, I made a tight clearance so there is no moving sideways, no nothing. So when you tighten your head down, it'll go exactly where it is. It's not going to warp to one side to side. It's spot on. The chamfer you allow for the piston to protrude up, I've basically done a 6 degrees. Okay, machining that. Right, so that way it's the same profile as the piston going up. The profile of the piston is about 5 degrees. Right, so I've done about 6, and leave it at that. With the base gaskets, I've done about 3 different sizes of thickness. Okay, so I get suit to what compression I want and whatever, same as the base gaskets. Okay, so basically what I've done, we changed the a thicker base gasket, like you call a jug or whatever. This will change your port timing. Okay, so, and with the extra taken off, bring the compression up to 17 to 1. Okay, so basically there is a bit of work to do a billet head on a 71cc engine and so on. Let me see. Yeah, so yeah, I've got it down pat. The first one here took me a while to do, but now, yeah, I can do a cylinder head probably about 40 minutes. That's machining your cylinder. Okay, and doing the head at a different stage, and that's pretty straightforward. They worked it all out, pretty simple. Okay, so yeah, that's the way it is. There is a little bit of work, but pretty simple to me. That's what I do for a living. I've been doing it for 45 years CNC. Okay, fabricate is mainly what I do. So you can see I do the pipes, I do the cylinder heads. Yeah, so I've got a couple more cylinders to do. So yeah, I've got to finish porting that cylinder out, which makes it easier now. Two-piece head, you can get them up top and whatever. So you should trace out where you want your ports and all that. Okay, so yeah, I'll do 2 for reed block and another head for reed case that I'm working on. Now I have been doing a bit of research on these people, so this is interesting stuff. I actually been doing a bit of research, different pistons, different guardian pins, different cylinder heads. Yeah, you got it. Different cylinder heads. Yes, there is 2 cylinder heads out there, not Rovans. Right, these will go onto these 71cc cases. Okay, the PCD, as I said before, from hole to hole is 49. Guess what? These cylinder heads that I found, they're on the way. Okay, are 49 millimeters hole to hole. They'll go straight on. Okay, the beauty about what I'm going to like about these cylinder heads, the ports are bigger. Okay, just turn this around. Okay. Now, you look on exhaust on a 71, have a close look. Go back and focus out. Really, the holes where you bolt your flange of the exhaust should be more out. Okay, so you got to be careful if you put these cylinder heads out. You take too much meat out in this area here, guess what? You're going to have thread problems later on. You're going to tend to pull the bolts out on your exhaust. Okay, so it doesn't give you room, so if you stop off the thread, you won't be able to helicoil. So these cylinder heads that I found will, the holes are out further, ports are bigger. And one of them on the intake, this on this side it's actually angled a bit more up on the cylinder. The other ones, yeah, okay, a fraction bigger. Now the only downside, yep, I'll put these cylinder billet heads on, all good, but I'll have to do a drop coil. Okay, because the coil mount on these other cylinder heads are actually on the opposite side, so I'll have to do a drop coil setup on them. Yes, so yeah, looking forward to these cylinder heads coming. So yeah, and not only that, guys, they're 3/4 cheaper than a Rovan cylinder head. Yeah, cheap as chips, mate. So yeah, why not try them out? Now, go back to these billet heads. There's actually two different ones of these. Okay, there's one that's actually higher. I've got one ordered. It should be here very soon. I think it's in Australia. Okay, can't wait to get that one. Okay, it's got more cooling. Now, the only problem what I see about these billet heads, right, in Australia, it gets very hot here. Okay, you guys in the snow, yeah, you're not going to have a heating problem. But here, if you get high temperature, to me, these need a little bit of work. Now, have a look at the last two fins. Look there. I'm actually going to rework these and put a parting tool in there, and we're going to dig out probably about 10 mils. So in between the fin, the machine back here, you know, about 4 mils away from where the stud hole is going to be. That will give it better cooling overall. Plus take a little bit of weight out, but every bit counts. Okay. So we talk about different cylinder heads, which are on their way. Yeah, the head bolts, you need 90 mil in length. Don't go 80, it won't be long enough. 100, you're going to be cutting back. Okay, so they're practically about 86 in size, depends how deep you go in the hole of the crankcase. Okay, you can only go so much on the clutch side, whereas you interfere with the bolts on the clutch housing. Okay, yes, there is different pistons out that you can use on these, and a couple I could do pop-ups, so I can raise the compression without cutting the cylinder, you know, taking X amount off and bringing compression up. Right, gudgeon pins. Yes, there is other gudgeon pins you can buy. They're actually made of titanium, half the weight. Okay, the titanium gudgeon pins are only good for 25 tanks. That's fine. Use about that, mate. You're changing a few things on that motor or refreshing it, but it's half the weight. So yeah, it's power gain on these motors. Okay. Hey guys, if you got a crankcase lying around, you got a cylinder head, they're pretty straightforward for other bits and pieces to go on there. Your flywheel, no, you only need a 320 flywheel. It's the same. It doesn't say on websites and all that, you know, because you're thinking, oh, I need a 71cc flywheel. No, honestly guys, 320 goes straight on. Alright, I actually machined one up and took that, so I made it into easy starter, got the parts for it, all good. So I've got to pleat all the bits and pieces. This WJ71 carburetors are quite expensive, so I had to buy one of them, and the billet cover to go on the side. Okay, let me see some other things. Alright, yes, so last time I took my barger out, made that new design pipe work quite well, a lot louder. Since I put the extra billet pieces, yes, we come to a stop. I had to change the gearing because of the big spike wheels, the bigger diameter wheels. The gearing just whacked it at a weight, and plus, adding weight. So I have to order a set of gearing from RC Max. Yeah, all good. Now, bit of confusion what I notice on talking about exhaust pipes. Okay, I actually got my old pipe here. Pick it all up. Okay, we're going to talk about pipes. Okay, this is my original one I made for the first one for the 71. Works quite well. I actually fluked it pretty well, spot on. Basically, looking at the size of the RC Max, what side chambers and all that. Yep, so I made my own. And how I deal with my pipes, I make it in sections. I do it in sections, and that way I can get in for die grinders, so there's no overlapping inside, no welds, no nothing. It's clear as a thing. Okay, that's how I do my pipes. Alright, got my dog, it's walking around. Now, we're going to discuss a few things. How the pipe, and some people saying how they work on YouTube, and gives you a bit of confusion. Okay, 2-stroke pipes make the most important part on your engine. That's going to make you the power. Okay, stock standard, or all the extra mods what you made, whatever. Okay, how a 2-stroke pipe with a big chamber. Okay, now look at this, right, it's actually, you get your fire and explosion, then you get your exhaust escape in your chamber, goes through into your main chamber, then this actually comes back. Then so much goes out exhaust, so much goes back. Okay, this has happened twice on a cycle. One is actually goes back and helps scavenging inside of the motor itself, bringing the fuel up and everything, and does that. But the main thing really, how it really works is actually after the explosion going back, so much goes back and the rest comes back and actually stops at the exhaust flange of the head of the motor. It works as an exhaust valve. Pretty critical. Okay, so you're not having fuel leaking, and that helps with compression. Right, it actually seals it, so you're ready, for firing. A big explosion, nothing like that. When it actually explodes, then you get your firing comes back. Okay, now to sort of tell if your pipe's been working or worked properly, if you made one. Okay, have a look at the colours of the header and come back to the chamber. Okay, realistic, if you don't have those colours on your exhaust is not working the way it should. Okay, your header does a lot of work, a lot of heat goes through it, so much goes out, so much comes back. Okay, and the heat stops them to your next fire up. Now, seeing the colours there, that's telling your header is working spot on. Okay, if you don't have that heat spot in your header, coming from your flange and that. Nothing at all. Say if you've got a chrome pipe or you've got a mild steel pipe, that means the header section, the so much going out, so much going in, it's not working. Obviously, there's too much going out, and there's not enough rebounding back. Okay, so yeah, that's a good tip if your pipe's actually working. Okay, you need a big chamber on the 71cc for this volume. Okay, this is too big for a 45. I'll tell you that now. Now at expense, I've seen big name pipes like RC Max, mate. I can understand why they are so expensive. And you guys think, oh, geez, that's quite expensive. Well, there's a lot of work and goes on those. If you're making 50 pieces and you're doing pie cuts and all you know, configuration all the way back there, that takes a lot of time. And if you're doing it with a TIG, mate, you're using a lot of gas, especially TIG. TIG you use a lot of gas. So there's your explanation why pipes are so dear. Have a look closely. But something that's made 3 pieces and got a big price on, yeah, it's overdone. These actually take a lot of work to do. Yeah. But anyway, guys, keep an eye on my next videos. Stay tuned. Happy days to other people. Okay. We're doing a fair few videos. So basically doing engine work, engine porting, doing next level stuff. Oh, plus I probably forgot. Hey, there's you're doing the engine building. Look, guys, there's a lot of ways a lot of people do, and you can make your motor last longer and all that. Heat treating your piston, you know, put in the oven, you know, 400 degrees, you know. So you heat your piston and leave it for about 3 hours, you know, and get it nice and hot. All right, you do it in your oven at home, 4 bore on your oven. Okay, leave it there for about 4 hours, and have a bucket of water with you. Okay, obviously you're going to use gloves to grab that piston, stick in the water straight away, instant, put it under water. It's got to be done in one hit. That'll harden your piston, that'll stop your heat and shrinking up and down, and virtually to make it easier for you, you know, for running. We used to do on our go-karts, all our pistons, so we used to heat treat our own pistons. Okay, so that way we know where the piston is after that. Then we used to, you know, measure our pistons, measure the cylinder, so we had to hone it to size, you know, set the ring gap. We know that's the right way. Where if you don't do that to your pistons, you're going to take a lot longer to run those pistons in. Okay. Plus, doing it that way, you have less wear on your skirts on your piston. Take all your sharp pieces, mate. It's just heaps of things to do. It's up to you guys the way you want to do your engines, but yeah, there's another tip for you. So stay tuned. Update other cylinder head billets that coming in. I'll probably show you what I've done. We'll be doing machining that, so we'll make these fins deeper and give it, make it motor run a bit cooler. I have found the right bolt-on reed blocks for these engines. Okay, it's not from America. Okay, and they're nice and neat and tidy. Okay, so yep, there is a reed case coming out. I'm working on it, guys. I've been flat out with work. You know, I do 2 jobs type of thing. You know, so, and with the weather wise and it's been crazy, so I haven't gone out to my mate of mine. He's going to take the job on. We're just deciding which reed block we set up to suit that reed case. Okay, that's the word to hold up. Yes, there is rumour around what I'm doing. Yes, it's happening. Okay. Yes, I have made a reed adapter. I know how to bolt it onto the casing. Quite easy. It actually works a lot better a lot more solid. It's not going to fall off, and it doesn't look like a big tower coming out. Now with barges, it's alright for losses, you can stick it whatever way you want, but in barges, you got to get your angle right. So I've got to order a new aluminium tank. Sits down lower, so I don't have to cut the plaster in that for the reed case setup. Anyway, I'm out, guys. Stay tuned to my other videos. Explain more in depth, next level. Yeah, I'm out, guys. Thank you.